Let me just start the today's session, and the topic which we are going to discuss today, we call it as an JavaScript executor. Okay, so what is the purpose of JavaScript executor? So generally, what happen like when we are interacting with the web pages, how we are interacting with the web pages, like obviously like with the help of the WebDriver, we are interacting with the web pages, and post interacting with the web pages, we are doing some actions. So what are the actions we are doing up? So like we may do the click action, and how we are doing the click action? With the help of the click method. And in sometimes like we may do the input action, and how we are doing the input action? Obviously like with the help of the send keys. Okay, so these are the like kind of actions method which is available in the Selenium. So we are using this predefined action method, and with the help of the predefined action method we are doing the appropriate action on the web pages. So till now, like if we need to click something, like we are using the click method. If I need to insert an input, like I'm using the send keys. So technically what happened? Like when we use the click method or when we use the send keys method, right? So generally, so those method will pass a comments to the JavaScript executor at the back end. Like we will be having the JavaScript. Okay, so basically what it used to do in the sense, it will internally execute the JavaScript statements. Okay, it will execute the JavaScript statement. So whenever we are using the click method, so internally at the back end, it will execute the JavaScript statements, and only with the help of the JavaScript, we are interacting with the respective element. Okay, so how we are interacting with the respective element in the sense only with the help of the JavaScript executor. So even if you are using some inbuilt method like click method or send keys method, so technically like whenever we are using the inbuilt method at the back end, it is used to call the JavaScript, and internally it will execute the JavaScript statements. So our statements, or we call it as in comments, and with the help of the comments we are interacting with the respective elements. So generally we are talking with the element only with the help of the JavaScript executor. So now in the modern web pages, right, in few application, like you may write few coding, like let's say like driver dot find element. Okay, by dot you are just mentioning some of the locator, and you are planning to do the click action. But if you perform the click action in few web pages, it won't do the click action. And in the similar way, like if you try to inject a input, let's say with the help of the send case, like you are planning to inject a input, but if you try to inject an input, it won't work. So even though the locator may be unique, okay, but we are unable to perform the respective action. So generally we will be getting some exception called as an element intercepted exception. Okay, so whenever, okay, this exception occurs, which indicates at the back end internally it is unable to execute the JavaScript statement. Okay, but how we are executing the JavaScript statement so far? We are using the inbuilt method, and with the help of the inbuilt method we are executing the JavaScript statement. But when we try to do that, this time it is unable to perform the click action or unable to perform the input action, and it is throwing the exception called as an element interrupted exception. Okay, so this is the exception which will always throw in a coding. Then how we are going to handle this exception? So basically only with the help of the JavaScript executor. So rather than using the inbuilt method, this time we are going to execute the JavaScript statements directly. Okay, so we are going to execute directly with the help of the JavaScript executor. Okay, so moving forward, like whenever you are unable to perform the click action or if you are unable to perform the input action, right? So rather than using the inbuilt methods which is offered by the Selenium, we will be using the JavaScript executor. So with the help of the JavaScript executor, we are directly going to execute the JavaScript statements. Okay, so that is the reason like we are going for the JavaScript executor, because in a modern web pages, in few web pages you may not able to perform the click method or the send keys method. If you are able to do the click method, then it is well and good. But if you are unable to do the click action or if you are unable to do the input action, then we have an alternative approach which we call it as a JavaScript executor. So we are going to use the JavaScript executor, and with the help of the JavaScript executor, we are going to directly execute the JavaScript statements. Okay, for doing the click action, we are having one statement. For pausing the send keys, we are having one statements, and we are going to execute the respective statement. Okay, and this JavaScript executor, right? It is an interface. Okay, in a Selenium, there are a lot of predefined interface in the classes, in which the Selenium offer one more predefined interface called as an JavaScript executor. Now we are going to use the JavaScript executor in our coding. So then I may write the first line. So JavaScript executor. I will be giving some variable name. Let it be like JSC is equal to. So this is an interface. So in order to use the interface, like we need to implement with the help of the class, or else, right, yesterday I told, so there is some other approach to use an interface, which is nothing but we can do the typecasting. Okay, so generally to whom we need to tell to communicate with the respective field, obviously like with the WebDriver, right? Yesterday if you notice, like we have taken the screenshot by casting the screenshot with the WebDriver. In similar way, here we are going to do the typecasting. Okay, how we will be doing the typecasting? Like we should add the open and close bracket, and in which like you need to add the respective interface in which you need to typecast to the driver. Okay, so we know the variable name of the WebDriver is driver. We are typecasting to the WebDriver. Okay, so now we are going to execute the JavaScript statements directly with the help of the JavaScript executor. And in order to execute, like we are having one method in a JavaScript executor which we call it as an execute script. Okay, so only with the help of the execute script we will be executing the appropriate command. Okay, so now what are the commands? So let's discuss one by one. So for doing the click action, okay, we are going to use the command. So generally, right, you guys need to remember this command. Okay, so what is the command is like? We will be using the keywords called as an argument of 0. Okay, and then in case if you are planning to do the click action, then we will be using the command called as an click, then followed by we will be pausing the appropriate locator over here. Okay, so this is the command which we are going to inject in the execute script method, and whenever we pass this command, like it will execute this command and it will do the click operation. So generally what it means in the sense, so this arguments, right? So this arguments is an predefined array in a JavaScript. Whenever I say arguments of 0, it indicates the 0th index, which is nothing but we are going to pass the locator, right? So whenever we are passing the locator, this element will be stored in the 0th index of predefined arguments array, and it will perform the click action. Okay, in similar way, if I need to like do some input action, let's say like I need to use the method called as an send keys. Okay, so now how I can execute this method called as an send keys with the help of the statement? So then again I should use the command called as an, okay, argument of 0, and in order to inject the input, we are going to use the method called as an, okay, set attribute. Okay, so this is the comment which we need to use, and in which I need to pass a keyword called as an value. Okay, so what is mean by value? So value is nothing but we are going to assign some value, and whatever the value we are assigning, it will inject in the respective text box. Okay, now whatever the value we need to assign, so we can add a comma and then we can inject the input over there. And where we need to inject this input, so we need to specify the locator, then I can specify the locator. Okay, now this is the comment. So generally we will be passing this comment inside the execute script method. Okay, so inside the execute script method, if I need to execute this particular comment, so then inside the double quotes I will be pausing the comment. So if I pass this comment, it will do the click operation in the specified locator, and when it is of an like send keys, right? So inside this execute script method, like I will be passing the respective comment. Okay, so we always pass the respective comment over it. Now let me just pass the respective comment over it. Okay, so this is the syntax to perform the like a click operation and the input operation with the help of the JavaScript executor. If you are unable to do the click method, or if you are unable to use the send keys method, rather than using the predefined methods which is offered by the Selenium, we are going to use the JavaScript executor, and we are going to directly execute the JavaScript statements with the help of the method called as an execute script. Okay, so this time we are directly interacting with the help of the JavaScript executor. Now let's see like how we can use this in our coding. Okay, now let me open any one of the existing coding, and let me just open any one of the page object. So let me just take the example of learn more login page. Okay, so in the learn more login page, right, so we have performed few operations. So like we have performed click operation. So how we have performed the click operation? With the help of the method called as an click. So now assume that this click method is not working. So if it is not working, so what is the exception it will throw? So as I mentioned, it will throw the exception called as an element intercepted exception. So if this exception occurs, then as an alternative approach, you need to use the JavaScript executor. Okay, so I'm just trying to use the JavaScript executor. Okay, and you could see in the suggestion it is displaying the JavaScript executor, and it is an interface. Let me just give some variable name. Let it be like kind of an JSC is equal to, I'm doing the typecasting. Okay, how we are casting to the driver in the sense, we should add the open and close bracket inside which we need to pass the JavaScript executor, and we are typecasting to the respective driver. Now this is done. Now inside which we are having the method called as an execute script. Now I'm using the execute script method. So what is the variable name? It's JSC. So if I say JSC dot, it will list down the method in which I'm going to use the method called as an execute script. So now you could see there are two execute script methods are present, which means like based upon the input which we are injecting, it will execute any one of the execute method by overloading the other execute script method. So as I discussed in the polymorphism concept, right? So here the overloading will take place. So when the overloading will take place, so when it is inside the same classes. Okay, so now I'm using the method called as an execute script, in which I'm just going to pass the comment. Okay, so I'm going to pass the comment. What is the comment we need to pass to do the click action? So the comment is like arguments. So actually it's arguments, not argument. Okay, so always mention arguments of 0. So because this arguments is an predefined array, so don't mention as an argument. Okay, if we mention as an argument, for sure it won't do the respective action. So be cautious while injecting it, because it won't give in the form of a suggestion. So basically like we need to type the full string. So I'm just typing arguments of 0. Okay, Then I'm using the method called as an click. Okay, and where we need to perform the click operation. So we need to specify the locator. Okay, so the locator is present in the above line. Then which is nothing but we treated them as an web element. Okay, we need to pass the respective element over that, right? So now I can store this line in a web element. Okay, and I'm giving the variable name as an element is equal to something. It is throwing the error because we should remove the inbuilt method which we have defined at the end. Okay, now we need to, okay, inject this particular locator. Okay, so now I should add a comma and I should inject the locator. Now it indicates it will perform the click operation in this particular element. Whatever the element we have specified, it will perform the click operation. But how we are doing the click operation? So rather than using the inbuilt method, we are using the JavaScript executor, and with the help of the JavaScript executor, like we are doing the click operation. Okay, in similar way, like whenever you need to like do the input action. Okay, let's say, okay, so this is the particular line in the enter password. Let me try to like enter a password, and how I'm going to enter the password. So basically I'm going to enter the password with the help of the JavaScript command. Then what I need to do? I should use the JavaScript executor. Let me try to use JavaScript executor. I'm just giving the variable name JSE is equal to, I'm doing the typecasting like kind of an JavaScript executor. I'm casting to the driver. Okay, so now this is done. Now we are going to execute the script. How we are going to execute the script? With the help of the method called as an execute script, and where I'm going to pass the command. What is the command? So we should use the arguments of 0. Why we are using the arguments of 0? So whatever the element we are going to specify, the respective element will be stored in the arguments of 0. This arguments is a predefined array, and it will refer the predefined array, and it will do the respective action over it. Now we are going to do the input action. If we need to do the input action, then we should use the command called as an, okay, set attribute. Okay, I'm just typing it as an set attribute, and inside which I need to use the command called as an value followed by whatever the input we need to inject. Okay, so what is the input we need to inject? So let me just directly hard code the value, and let's see how it is working up. Okay, so in the login page, like we are going to enter the password. Okay, this time I'm going to enter the password with the help of the JavaScript executor. Now let me pass the respective password over here. Okay, now next step is like we need to pass the element where we need to do the input action. So we need to specify the element. Obviously, like we have specified the element at the top of the line, right? Now let me store the top of the line in the web element. Okay, so whenever we say web element, it which is nothing but which is representing the respective node. Okay, so web element always represents the corresponding node. I am storing it in web element, and I'm giving the variable name as an element is equal to something, and we are going to pass the respective element over here. Okay, so now we are going to do the input action, as well as like we are going to do the click operation with the help of the method called as an JavaScript executor. Sorry, with the help of the interface called as an JavaScript executor. Now let me try to run this scenario and let's check. Okay, so in order to enter the username and password, we need to execute this particular scenario called as an LMTI04. Let me update in the runner file. So let me open the runner file which should be present in the test Java. Okay, so these are like universal thumb rule. So wherever you are going, so they will be following the same structure. So the folder structure will be remain same. So that is why everywhere they are using the Maven. So the tag is already updated. And next thing is like we need to look on the framework configuration. So now, so it has configured the respective test environment. Now let me try to run this feature runner and let's see whether it is performing the input as well as click operation. If so, we are able to do the same action with the help of the JavaScript executor. So you should use the JavaScript executor one and only if the inbuilt methods are not working. So whenever the inbuilt click method and the inbuilt send keys method is not working, so then you can use the JavaScript executor. So if the inbuilt method is working fine, so then you guys don't need to use the JavaScript executor. Okay, now the execution has been triggered. Okay, so now it has navigated the thing. It should enter the username and followed by it should enter the password. You could see it is able to enter the password and as well as like it is able to do the click operation. Okay, so how we have achieved this with the help of the JavaScript executor. It is failing in the then statement. So the reason is like as I told, like we have given the wrong asset statement. So whenever the asset statement is wrong, right? So it will fail the respective statement. Okay. So now let's start with the another example with the help of the JavaScript executor. Okay. So in other case, so apart from this click operation or whatever the send keys action which we have discussed early, apart from these two instances, like we will be using this JavaScript executor mainly to do the scroll operation in a web page. Okay, so we are going to do the scroll operation. Okay, so why we are going to specifically use the JavaScript executor for doing the scroll operation? So the reason is like, for example, if I open this page, right, if I scroll to the down, okay, so there are a number of fields which is available, and this particular scroll option, right, it is actually the feature of the browser, so not the feature of the web pages. Okay, so based upon the web pages, so the web browser will provide the scroll option. Okay, the scroll is provided by the web browser and not a web pages, which means like we can't do the right click and insert and we can't control this scroll option with the help of any of the locators. So then obviously, right, if we need to do the scroll operation, like we need the help of the JavaScript executor in few web pages, right? Okay, so if we need to click on anything so which is present below, then we need to scroll down. Okay, and post scroll down, like we need to do the click operation. Okay, it's because what happened, for example, if I'm planning to get the text called as an post a comment, I have written the coding, but generally, right, whenever we launch this web page, okay, so as per this browser compatibility, so the screen, the UI will be look like this, and the element related to this particular page will not load fully. So basically, like whatever the element which is present in this in the screen, okay, so only those elements will be loaded at the backend. And if we try to get the text of this post comment, or if you are planning to do any other action below, the element may not loaded at the backend. Okay, in the HTML code, the element may not be intratable. Then what we need to do? We need to scroll to the particular point. So one and only if we scroll to the particular point, okay, this particular element will be intratable. So we can do the respective operation. So whatever the action we need to do, like click action or whatever the send keys action we need to do, so we can able to achieve that. So in order to do so, like we will be using this scroll. Okay, basically the scroll bar is provided by the browser and not by the web pages. And if we need to control the scroll bar can be controlled only with the help of the JavaScript executor. And in similar way, we are having some comments, and with the help of the comments, we can do the scroll down or scroll up, etc. Okay, so whatever the action we need to do, we can do the scroll operation with the help of the comments. And what is the comments which we are going to use? So the first comment is like, we can scroll in three ways. One is like, we can scroll by pixel number. Okay, so the next thing is like, we can scroll to the particular point based upon the element. Okay, so we can scroll to the page till element is visible. Okay, so we can just set some element and we can scroll the scroll bar till that particular element. So we can achieve in this way. In few cases, right, so we can, okay, scroll till the end of the page. Okay, or in sometimes if you are already at the end of the page, if you need to scroll to the top of the page, yes, we can do. Okay, so these are the possible, okay, scroll action which is available. So either we can scroll by the pixel number, or we can scroll with the help of the element. Okay, so we can make the JavaScript executor to scroll where the element is present. Another thing is like, either we can scroll till the end of the web pages. Okay, so how we are going to achieve this? So only with the help of the comments. So what are the comments which is available? So the first comment is like, so if we need to scroll by pixel number, okay, we should use the comments called as an windows dot, okay, scroll by. So where we are going to insert the pixel number. Okay, I will tell you like how to get the pixel number. So this is the command which you are going to use. So if you need to like use the pixel number, then we should use the command called as an windows dot scroll by. Okay, and based upon it, it will scroll down. And here we are not passing any of the element, right? So obviously, like whenever we are using the JavaScript executor, we are passing the command, and post that like we are specifying the locator. Here we are not scrolling based upon the locator, we are going to scroll by the pixel number. So generally we will be injecting the pixel number, the input of the pixel number over here. Then if you are planning to use the command, then how we will be using it up? So we will be using this execute script method, okay, in which I will be using the corresponding command. Okay, and then we are not specifying any element. So basically, like we need to mention it as an blank space. Okay, here we are going to inject the pixel number. And next thing is like, as I told, we can scroll till the element is present. Wherever the element is present, we can scroll till that particular point. So how we can achieve? Okay, so there is a command called as an scroll into view. Okay, again I am going to use the method called as an execute script, in which I am going to pass a command called as an, okay, arguments of 0, and then I'm going to use the command called as an scroll into view. Okay, and at the end, like we should add a open and close bracket, and also like we should add a semicolon. Okay, this is the command we need to use. So we should say arguments of 0 dot scroll into view, and then we need to like specify the locator, which is nothing but we need to specify the element. Okay, so if we specify the element, it will scroll to the point till the element is present. So what is the purpose of this command scroll into view? Which means it will move the scroll bar till the point where the respective element is present. Okay, so if we need to do so, we will be using the respective command. And if we need to like scroll till the end of the page, then again like we should use the command. Okay, in order to execute the command, we are going to use the method called as an execute script. Okay, in which I am going to pass a command. So as usual, I'm using the same command called as an windows dot. Okay, I'm using the scroll by, and rather than using the pixel number, okay, this time we are going to scroll till the bottom of the web page, which is nothing but till the end of the web page. Like if you need to pass till the end of the web page, then you should pass the argument called as an 0 comma, and you should pass the comment called as an, okay, document dot body dot scroll height. Okay, so just if you use this command, so it will scroll till the bottom of the page. And in similar way, if you need to scroll till the top of the page, it is pretty simple. Like you will be using the same command, but before the document you should give minus. Okay, so when you give minus, what it used to do, it will scroll till the top of the page. Okay, so these are the possible scroll action we can do with the help of the JavaScript executor. So why we are specifically depending upon the JavaScript executor over here? Because the scroll bar is provided by the browser and not by the web pages. So for sure, like we need to use the JavaScript executor, and with the help of the JavaScript executor, we need to do the respective action. Okay, now let's see how we can implement in our coding. Okay, it is very simple. Okay, so just we need to execute this command, but this time, right, we can verify this command whether it is working as expected or not. For example, let me, okay, right click and inspect this particular web page. Okay, and there is a another tab called as an console. I'm just navigating to the console tab. Here I'm going to type the comment. If you need to verify the comment of the JavaScript executor, you can directly verify the comment. Okay, I'm using the command called as an, okay, window. Okay, whenever I type the command, it will be displaying the command. I'm selecting the window command. Okay, and I'm selecting the dot, and in which we are having the method called as an scroll by. Okay, I'm just selecting the method called as an scroll by, and in which we are going to pass the pixel number. So how we will get to know the pixel number? So the pixel number, in the sense, inside the scroll by, we need to pass the x-axis and y-axis. So what is mean by x-axis? So x-axis is nothing but when you are planning to scroll like horizontal, then we will be giving the x-axis. But here we are going to scroll in a vertical way. Then obviously like the x-axis will be like kind of a 0. Okay, and let me give the y-axis. Okay, obviously, right, if you remember the mathematical graph, okay, so we will be providing the y-axis. Let me just randomly provide y-axis. So this time let me just provide the y-axis as 100, and let me click on enter. If you see, if I click on 100, the mouse is scrolling till the point. The scroll bar is moving till this point. So now let me increase the pixel number. Okay, so we should keep on increasing the pixel number. I should use the method called as an scroll by, and this time instead of the 100, let's say, let the x-axis be the 0. So you need to like manually check what is the pixel number. If I say 600 and if I click on enter, if you see, it's automatically scroll down to the particular point. Okay, for example, if this is the expected pixel number in your case, then you can use this command. Okay, now the pixel number will be like 0 comma 600, and you will be using the pixel number in your coding. For example, like before doing the click operation, if I need to like scroll up, or before retrieving this error message, if I need to scroll down, so whatever the things which we need to do, if you are planning to do any of the scroll action, then again, like we will be using the JavaScript executor. Okay, and I'm creating some variable name is equal to, I'm just doing the typecasting, and I'm just amounting to the respective driver, and then we should execute the command. So how we are going to execute the command with the help of the execute script? It is very simple. So just you need to pass this command. Okay. So whenever I say window dot scroll by, so we should mention inside the string because the command should be always in the string. Okay, and here we need to specify the element, right? We know we don't need to specify any element. We can leave it as a blank and then we can add a semicolon. So whenever we do that, it will scroll to the respective pixel value. Okay, and in similar way, like for example, if I need to scroll to the end of the page, so just I discuss, right? This is the comment which we need to follow. Even you can verify this particular comment over here. Okay, I can write the comment. So where I have writing the comment, so you can just simply right click and insert anywhere. Okay, apart from this element tab, we are having one more tab called as a console, in which we can try to execute the JavaScript commands. So how we are going to execute? With the help of the command called as a window, I can say, okay, window dot, okay, in which we are going to use the method called as an scroll by. Okay, and this time we are not going to scroll by the pixel number. Again we are going to scroll, but how we are going to scroll? We are going to scroll in the y-axis. So that is why every time in the x-axis I am mentioning it as a 0. Okay, I'm mentioning the x-axis as a 0. Okay, but we need to give the y-axis. So this time we need to scroll till the bottom of the page, right? Then what is the command we need to use? So we should use the command called as an, okay, document. Even from the suggestion you could able to see, so this is the command which is displaying. So document dot, okay, then what is the next command? It's a body, so that I can say document dot, so it should be in the lower case, document dot, I think it's an uppercase. Let me just try it out. Yeah, here it is. Okay, document dot body. Oh my God. So it has executed the script. Okay, document dot body dot, and there is a method called as an scroll height. Okay, and let me try to execute the command. If I click on enter, right, now if you see, it has scrolled till the bottom of the page. Okay, if whenever we need to scroll till the bottom of the page, then we should use the command. And in similar way, now the control is at the bottom, right? If I need to scroll to the top of the page, then again, like we should use, okay, window dot, let me just type window dot. So what is the method we are going to use? We are going to use the scroll by. I'm selecting the scroll by. If you need to select this, you can just click on the tab button. Okay, the scroll by is selected, in which we are going to specify the x-axis and y-axis. Let the x-axis be the 0. In some case, if you need to scroll by the y-axis, then you can give the same command. Sorry, if you need to scroll in the x-axis, then you can give the same command in the x-axis and you can make the y-axis as the 0. Okay, so you can use vice versa, depends upon your need. Now I can say minus of, okay, document, okay, dot. So what is the method we are going to use inside the document? It's a body. So I can say dot body dot, there is a method called as an scroll height. Okay, I'm just selecting everything from the suggestion, scroll height. And this time if I click on the enter, if you see the control of the scroll bar, it is stepping to the top of it. Okay, so this is how like we can do the validation, and you can easily use the same in your coding. Okay, in case of an locator, right? So then you can use the respective command, whatever the command which I have mentioned. So where we need to pass the element. Okay, so for example, before doing this click action, if I need to scroll to this particular element, right, then what I can do, I can use the command called as an argument start. What is the command I told, which is nothing but scroll into view. Okay, then I should add the semicolon, and if I do this, so it will do the scroll bar operation till where the element is present, and post reaching this particular point it will do the click operation. Okay, so it depends upon our need, we can use it accordingly. Okay, so even like I think we can't execute this argument command, but only the Windows command we can execute. Yes, only the Windows command we can execute. Okay, so basically basically in the real time, so we will be using this JavaScript executor mainly to perform the scroll bar operation, and in few instances, like if you are unable to do the click operation or the send keys operation, right, so then we can use the JavaScript commands. Okay, so there are a number of JavaScript commands which is available. So it depends upon your need, you can refer the appropriate command and you can use accordingly. And these are the most frequently used command. So even like in one of the recent interview, so they have asked this question, like in few web pages you are unable to do the click operation, so what kind of exception you will be expecting? So this is the question they have asked to them. If all the locator is say if all the locators is correct, whatever the locator they have mentioned is correct, and if you are unable to do the click operation, then what is the expected exception? So which is nothing but we call them as an element intercepted exception, and you can tell it can be handled by the JavaScript executor. Okay, so this is one of the recent interview question, so which is asked to one of my students last week. Okay, so now till this point, any doubts from anyone?